Hello, all my Taurians. Welcome to your Unity reading. The purpose of this reading is we're going to ask the Creator, what do you want us to know about union, about returning to unity? These last couple of years especially have felt so divisive and feel like we're all being pulled apart in so many ways. And so the Creator put on my heart to have this reading about coming back into unity. And what's interesting, I looked into the moons that are happening in August coming up here, and we have a new moon in Leo, which happens on August 8th. And that energy around a new moon in Leo is about uniting the needs of an individual with the needs of the whole. So that'll be some energy around setting intentions around that and taking action on it. And then the full moon that happens on August 22nd happens to be in Aquarius, which is on the other side of Leo on the chart. But Aquarians have like this strong concern for humanity and new ways of approaching things. They got this objective view of others' actions. And because they're the water bearer, they show us what we're really thirsty for, and they bring us these waters of life which quench our thirst. And those waters of life are actually the essence of unconditional love, the waters of unconditional love. So, just a perfect timing for this message coming through with all those energies coming with us in August anyway. And so before we jump into your reading, I just want to greet the Creator and thank you for being here with us. Thank you for bringing this message of unity for us and bringing information for us. We're so grateful for your presence and for your unconditional love. And we're also grateful for the large host of beings on the other side, all of the beings of light and unconditional love that help us with our path and help bring messages as well. All right, so we're going to start off here by pulling a card from the Blue Messiah cards. And I was drawn to these cards, and then after I had selected all the cards for this reading, then, of course, the Creator was like, oh yeah, the Messiah is part of the Trinity, the Divine Father, the Divine Mother / Holy Spirit, and then the child. And so that's the unity that comes with that relationship of joining with the, Divine Mother and Father, our Creator. And so the union starts within us. And because we see the world as we are, so if we're not have this feeling of being united inside of us, we won't be able to see it on the outside. So, Creator, for our beautiful Taurians, what would you like them to know about unity, please? Okay. What's beautiful about we are a part of the Trinity is the message I've been getting for about a year, because the Creator showed me, it's like, yeah, I am your mother and father, your divine mother and father, and you are my only child. That's how the Creator looks at each and every single one of us, because they can be anywhere, all at once and not have to split their time between all our other trillions and trillions of souls and brothers and sisters, right? Because then we would hardly have any time or attention. But the Creator is able to be everywhere at once and 100% of itself. So she is with us and treating us like this only child. So I love that. So here's a virtual fog, and here's that image there. And that is number 35, which 3 and 5 is 8, which is August, which is also strength, but it is the month of August, so synchronicity there. And so I'll read from the book too, but intuitively what I'm getting for this, of course, the message for unity is there's been conditions that have been set which have made it foggy for you to be able to see clearly, this possibility of unity. And brain fog happens when we're in fight or flight mode, because literally the blood leaves our brain and we're out of our mind, our normal mind, our logical mind, because our mind doesn't want to think while it's in fight or flight, because it thinks there's an animal or some danger, immediate danger, that needs to be acted upon, and it doesn't want us to stand there thinking, should I or shouldn't I not run from that animal? And then we get eaten, right? So it doesn't want us to think, it wants us to react. And that creates this fog and this confusion in there. And that's like people who fear taking tests. They could be so prepared, but when that fear kicks in, when they actually go to take the test, they forget so much stuff because they're not in their mind anymore. So that's kind of just an example of that. So let's read from the book here too to see what additional messages we have for Taurans. So this is an old Indian saying. It says, certain things catch your eye, but pursue only those that capture your heart. I love that. Within every soul is the natural desire to evolve and eventually ascend. But in this advancing technological world, it can be very easy to get lost in virtual fog, which makes sense too. It's where we find a lot of our fears, right? All the social media is just blasted with things that trigger us. With an increase in electrical devices such as mobile phones, computers, VR goggles, and more, we are constantly surrounded by energy pollution made up of artificial electromagnetic fields, the EMF. If you've been drawn to this card, stay conscious of your level of interaction with technology. Do your best to limit your exposure by limiting your time with electrical devices such as mobile phones. As much as you are electronically connected with the world, and as convenient as these devices may be, they can also cause energetic disharmony and sever your connection to spirit. Your natural state is to constantly move towards the light. So your pineal gland, your third eye, recognizes artificial EMF as light and can often become confused between real organic light and artificial light. Stay conscious, dear one, as artificial light serves none other than to reduce the effects of your pineal, both physically and spiritually. It can cause confusion and disconnection from self, capital SELF. Now is the time to choose with all your heart which light you connect to. And the chakras these deal with are the solar plexus, which the solar plexus, for me, is about your relationship with yourself, and the third eye, which is your ability to see things for what it really is. And what's interesting, in talking about the virtual world, back before we had even telegraph, little communities wouldn't hear news about stuff that happened all over the world for months and sometimes years. Now within seconds we can find out everything that's going on, even places thousands of miles away on the other side of the world. And so we're so inundated with so many things that trigger our fight or flight, we can, this virtualness can cause the fog. This comes with an exercise if you'd like. It says, limit how much time you spend on technological devices, and spend at least 20 minutes a day outside in nature. Invest in crystals and stones that absorb EMF, such as shungite, which is SHUNGITE. Affirmation for this card: I am awake and grounded in love as I journey into the light of my soul. Beautiful. Really, just to summarize this card, it's about understanding what's causing division, is so much of the social media and, quote, news and opinion shows. Everyone has their opinion anyway. That's what the entire social media seems to be, is an opinion show. And there's a lot of wonderful stuff out there too. I know I follow a lot of pages that are uplifting, unifying, unconditional love spreading things. And that's what, whatever you feed yourself is what grows. So if you want that to grow, that's what we focus on. Next, we're going to pull a card here from the Unicorn deck, which obviously, after I picked this, was urged to pick it, then we're like, duh, unicorn, oneness, unity, one horn, not two or multiple horns. So, of course, that's what we're going to see. What else the creator would like our Taurians to know, please, about their unity. Okay, I feel like that's the one that wants to jump out here for us. Yep, freedom. Love that flying on there. And it says, live wild and free, choose your freedom, claim your independence. And that almost sounds like, well, be independent. The thing is, it's such a catch-22 in this life that we live here, because when we're individuals, or when we separate from the giant sea of love that we are, and we become these little drops here, and we want to experience individuality, that in itself is not what causes so much of the angst and chaos and all those uncomfortable emotions of fear in our life. What causes us all of that stuff is our beliefs on what should be and need to be and have to be and supposed to be. And we want everyone else to believe the same way that we do, right? That's what causes the friction. Because if we were all individuals and going, oh, you're really, you're very different from me, but you're cool too. And look how unique you are. Instead of going, getting defensive, thinking that, someone else is saying I should be like them. And then that's when we get fearful, because we're not confident in that this is who I am going to be, and we fear being rejected for not fitting in. So when you can just imagine, maybe everyone was unique and accepting and thought everyone was cool, until one person spoke up, one soul spoke up and go, I don't like who you are, you need to be like me. And then defensiveness, and then that's where it all spread. But the freedom comes when you let go of all those conditional love laws, and you love unconditionally, and you are confident in who you are. You're not arrogant. The fine line between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is you are, you have the strength in your beliefs of who you are. Arrogance is saying that I'm better than everyone else. If you just, say, I love who I am, then that's the freedom, and letting other people be who they are, right? But that arrogance comes in, and the fighting comes when it's like, I'm better than you, I am what's right and you're what's wrong, and you need to get in line with who I am. And that's where all the stuff comes from. Let me also read from the book here. If my fingers will work. There we go. So, of course, it said, live wild and free, choose your freedom, claim your independence. You are a free spirit with an infinite soul who cannot and should not be caged, like we're talking about. It's time to forge your own path through life and create everything you want, regardless of how others think you should live. You may have held back to please someone or to protect yourself from judgment. You may have put your dreams on hold, believing they are too wild and outrageous, or that you don't deserve a life that magical. You may have been waiting for approval from someone who will never get it. Now your heart is calling you to freedom. It's time to create the reality that will light you up the most and allow you to be true to your soul. It's time to break the chains of limitation that delay your dreams and remember that anything is possible. It's time to stop caring what others may think of your life choices or how envious they may be of your freedom, and do it anyway. This beautiful winged horse invites you to ride on her back, high above judgments and into the magic of infinite possibilities. She encourages you to fly free, to let your hair stream in the wind, and to take pleasure in your new life. You are a free spirit. Soar into your wondrous life and never look back. Beautiful. So definitely this freedom, this release of all those restrictions in that cage, when you release yourself from the cage and from all those laws, then everyone else is freed along with you. When we have ourselves under a bunch of conditional love laws, then we have this feeling, right, of, if I'm going to be under all these laws, by golly, I'm going to make sure everyone else is too. But when we free ourselves from it, then we don't care. We're like, everyone be free. And we just let that go. Come and take a quick sip of coffee here. Excuse me. Setting the frog in my throat free. Next, we're going to pull some cards here from the Light Seers deck. And we'll see what else the creator would like Taurians to know about their unity, about their union. All right, creator, what do you want them to know? Taurians about unity, please. Okay. They want these 4. Last pass. Any others? Okay, that one. Oh my goodness, and that one too. This is the most that have come out. So let's see what messages here. A lot of info, probably validation, confirmation, and of course new information too. Look at the 7 of Swords. So yeah, this is the questioning all those things that are caging you. So normally, swords are our thoughts, and you can see the feathers that we're carrying around, and so these are all the experiences that we've had, all those beliefs and thoughts that because of the experiences we've taken them on as, I don't want to experience that before, so I'm going to keep these feathers as a reminder. And usually our thoughts are in our head, and they're here, and they're making noise. We can hear them. They're close to us, but not like in our face. This moonlight, even in the dark times, is shedding some light on it for us. So everything that's happening is happening for us to bring around, an enlightenment, to bring around truths into our lives. So that's normally, you can hear them going in the background, and you hear them nearby. But this one is right in your face. It's like waking up, and it's sitting on your chest, saying, "Listen to me." And so, for me, usually this represents something that has been happening over and over and over again, these challenging these beliefs that you have, and this thing that's been irritating you so much over and over and over again that you feel like it's in your face, and you're like, I just can't shake it. But it's there for a reason, and it's there for you to help you face that thing, because that is like the cage door of the cage that's keeping you in. And once you look at that, it's just going to open up so many more, like I said, so many more possibilities. It's going to just bring so much more energy in, because you're exerting so much energy and maintaining the defensiveness around this thought and belief, that it's like, okay, it's time to really question it. You've been holding on to it for a long time, and yeah, you may have been grasping onto it, and have defended it so profusely that it has impacted relationships, even to where you're like, well, I can't let it go now, because then all of that was for naught. And it's like, well, you know what? You experienced all that for a reason, but it's time to let this, go, so that you can make room for other things that are more healthy for your life, more just expansive for you, instead of this one that's restricting you so much. Yep, and got Ace of Cups, which for me, this represents unconditional love, new love, a new level of love, connecting back to your inner love, which is what this unity is all about. It's coming back to the one love that is eternal, stable, and forever, and that's the love of the Creator of all things that they have for us. You know, when you have that, you have everything, and you have no need to defend other things because you have it all inside you. So I love that. Yep. And again, 4 of Swords. So swords, your mental state, your mental attitudes, your beliefs, and not so much mental state, but mental like approaches, your attitudes towards life. And you can see all the 4 pointy wands here and here and here and here. This love is what's wrapping around them, and that is what's allowing you to rest, because the card before this is the 3 of Swords, which is about heartbreak and expectations and disappointments, and all those are the cages. You know, those things are what make us feel like we've been wronged, but what that heartbreak is and heartache is fear pricking our heart. It's the igniting, the ignition of our fight or flight. So when we think, I'm never going to be loved again, or I'm going to be rejected, or I'm going to be ostracized, you know, somehow I'm going to be judged, oh no, you know, that fear kicks in whenever we feel unsafe or in danger. So heartbreak is usually just our fear kicking in, and our hearts actually don't break. That's just the little signal going whoop, whoop, whoop. You know, you're now in fear. Take some deep breaths and you can come out of fear. But that's what I love about this, is when we connect to this unconditional love and we wrap all these beliefs in that love, they fall away. Because when we believe a thought like, when someone cheats on me, it means I'm a low life, I'm not worthy to be faithful to, my worth means blah, 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 blah. And that's because we're defining ourselves by someone else's actions, right? But when we define ourselves by this unconditional love that's inside us, then their actions mean nothing. It doesn't define us. I define myself by this, not by that. So whatever happens out there is nothing. And that's what allows us to rest. When we take those prickly things that are poking our heart and surround them with unconditional love for ourselves, it flows out to others, and it's a very peaceful, gentle life compared to the chaotic, pricking life. All right. Yeah. 10 of Swords. And I like this. Usually there's in a lot of the other decks with these tarot, the person's laying down with all the swords sticking out of their back. But I love this one too, because it represents, you know, these are all the thoughts, all those conditional love laws, all those things that are caging you. These are all those beliefs and thoughts, all those supposed tos, should be's, needs tos, have tos. Those are all up there. But the 10 of Swords represents, again, 1 + 0 is 1. You're ready to move from all those thoughts into unity, into a new way of thinking. And so you're so exhausted trying to maintain that cage that you're just at the point of like, I'm ready to let go. And what I love about this card, I like doing this to it. When you get rid of all those thoughts and that freedom comes, that's how you feel. You just feel you're walking towards the sun. You know, the sunrise is all coming up here, and you're walking towards light and to new, brighter days, and you feel free with that. So just a lot of great confirmations with that escaping that cage. Yep. And then Page of Wands, this is you, and with that freedom, right? Woohoo! All that energy, like I talked about, that you're using to maintain and try to obey and make sure that all those things are happening is so exhausting. And when you stop it, you have this flood of energy that floods back into you for you to focus on other things, other thoughts, other things that are more towards your higher vibration of love, instead of focusing all that energy into maintaining those fears, right? And so you literally just so much energy, swirl of energy. Pages can be like that kid-like feeling that you're just like, I just feel like, again, there's so many possibilities. I can do anything. Everything is extra. I have everything I need now, and now I just go on these adventures and explore this beautiful, beautiful, journey on Earth that we have. Yep, so the Two of Swords. And I love this because, it shows these, usually this is kind of like a decision to make, and you see how all these strings are binding her up and all that. But what I also love is that this blindfold over top of it, which means she's not looking toward her thoughts and beliefs to make her decision. She's blinding herself from those things and moving to her intuition, moving to her heart, moving to love as her decision maker instead, which is great because all these thoughts and beliefs are usually related to fear and not wanting something to happen that's negative, instead of focusing on wanting something that brings your heart joy and love and laughter and peace. So I love that with this transition. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from the Journey of Love, because as I talked about that, the waters of life are all about unconditional love. So let's see what else the Creator would like you to know. Okay, Creator, what else would you like Taurians to know about unity, please? That one. Okay. Guardian of the Soul Family. That's number 26, which 2 plus 6 equals 8. So again, we have another 8. And I love that, Guardian of the Soul Family. And I'll read from the book here too, but that's just so fitting for, the guardian of the family, not the guardian of the individual, but the guardian of the family, our total unity and union. That's just so perfect for this reading. And it says, you are being drawn to kindred spirits in this physical world by loving guardians in the spiritual worlds. If you feel you are leaving relationships behind, do not be afraid. The space that such courageous action creates is sometimes necessary in order to have room for the new to enter your sphere of consciousness. You may also feel that somehow a relationship that seemed to be held back from you now is becoming available to you. There is a great soul love calling you into more intimate connection now. It is sanctioned by the divine. It is a karmic destiny to fulfill. There is love that you are to experience in connection with particular souls predetermined by the divine plan. If you're struggling to feel the soul purpose in your current relationships, take heart, for you're being helped by divine guardians who understand and support the sacred purpose of your relationships. Be open to current relationships healing, whether that means improved communication, an enriched experience, or the realization that you have traveled as far as you can together. And know that new relationships are going to be an important aspect of your spiritual destiny being fulfilled. Trust in the divine timing of your life and open your heart to the guardians who help you with unconditional love now. This guidance of this oracle for you is that relationship healing is taking place, and present relationships unfolding, and attracting the right relationships for your future growth, and in leaving behind relationships of the past with a peaceful heart. Be gentle with your heart, beloved. All is well. Beautiful. So yeah, definitely healing of relationships, bringing back in that thing of unity. And again, like it mentions, it's not that it means that you're going to be involved in every single person's life, especially those that you've had conflict with. But, unity doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to give up everything of who you are and what you believe and take on everything they are doing. It just means that you're at peace with it. And like I mentioned in the beginning, you become this little bubble that you get to just love and appreciate who you are, while also allowing every other member of our huge family to be who they are. And if they're doing something that is threatening your individuality, you can really look into yourself and go, is it true that they're threatening me? What are they really threatening? And, finding that when you look inside yourself, you have everything you need right here inside you. So can they really threaten that? Beautiful. All right, beautiful Taurians, as you reflect on this, just know that every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. Enjoy this journey. We'll talk to you soon. You take care.